Have you ever felt your dream turn into a nightmare overnight? When I bought my dream house for $1,000, I thought I had finally found my happily ever after. Little did I know my ex-husband, the man I swore I'd never see again, would move in uninvited. Hi, I'm Clara. Just a year ago, I stood on the front porch of a sprawling Victorian house, its gabled roof and intricate woodwork straight out of a fairy tale. It was everything I had ever wanted, spacious, secluded, and steeped in charm. I spent years saving, planning, and dreaming for this moment. After my divorce, it symbolized my new beginning. I'd poured every dollar I had into it, hoping to build a life that was mine and mine alone. But then, as the ink dried on the paperwork and I unpacked the first box, my world turned upside down. My ex-husband, Todd, appeared on my doorstep. He was broke, homeless, and strangely insistent that he had a right to stay. "Clara," he said with that infuriating smirk, "you wouldn't let me sleep on the street, would you?" At first I laughed. The audacity! But his expression wasn't joking. He looked desperate, and a twisted part of me, the part that remembered the man I once loved, hesitated. Todd had always been good at manipulation, and he knew exactly which buttons to push. Against my better judgment, I told him he could stay for 1 week. Just one. That's when the house began to change. The first night I heard footsteps, heavy, deliberate thuds pacing the hallway outside my bedroom. I thought it was Todd, so I got up to yell at him, only to find the hallway empty. He was asleep on the couch downstairs, snoring loudly. The next day, I found a framed picture in the attic. It was of a couple standing in front of the house, their smiles wide but their eyes hollow. The back of the frame had a date, 1922. Something about the photo sent shivers down my spine, but I shrugged it off. Old houses have history, right? Todd, however, was fascinated. "Did you know someone was murdered here?" he asked casually over dinner. My fork clattered onto my plate. "What are you talking about?" "I looked it up," he said, grinning like he'd unearthed treasure. "This house? The husband went crazy and killed his wife. People say it's haunted." I rolled my eyes, but his words planted a seed of unease. And as the days passed, that unease grew. Living with Todd was like reliving our worst moments. He left dirty dishes everywhere, forgot to pay me back for groceries, and constantly reminded me of why our marriage had failed. But it wasn't just him. The house itself felt alive. The walls seemed to whisper at night. Low murmurs that I couldn't quite make out. Lights flickered, shadows shifted, and cold spots appeared in rooms that had no drafts. One evening, as I was cleaning the kitchen, I heard Todd screaming from upstairs. I rushed up to find him in the bathroom, staring at the mirror. "I saw her," he whispered, his face pale. "In the mirror. She was right behind me." "Who?" I asked, my heart pounding. "The woman from the picture," he said, his voice trembling. I didn't believe him. Todd was dramatic, always seeking attention. But that night, as I lay in bed, I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't alone. The breaking point came 2 weeks after Todd moved in. I woke up to the sound of scratching. Groggy, I followed the noise to the basement door. The scratching grew louder, more frantic as I approached. "Todd," I called, my voice shaking. No response. Summoning every ounce of courage, I opened the door. The basement was pitch black, the air thick and damp. Slowly, I descended the stairs, the scratching growing louder with each step. When I reached the bottom, the noise stopped. I turned on the light and froze. Scratched into the concrete floor were words. "Leave him." I bolted upstairs to find Todd in the living room, staring at the couple's photo from the attic. "She's protecting you," he said, his voice eerily calm. "She doesn't want me here." "Todd, you need to leave," I said, my voice trembling. "I can't," he replied, his eyes glassy. "She won't let me." That night, I locked my bedroom door and slept with a knife under my pillow. At 3 a.m., I woke to the sound of banging. Todd was outside my door, screaming and clawing at the wood. "It's her! She's making me do it!" he cried. Terrified, I called the police. When they arrived, Todd was gone. They searched the house but found no sign of him. The officers chalked it up to a domestic dispute and left. But I knew the truth. The house had taken him. The next morning, I found Todd's wedding ring on the basement floor, right where the scratches were. I moved out that same day, leaving behind my $1,000 dream. No amount of money could make me stay in that house. I've since learned to listen to my instincts and trust my gut. The house had its own story, one that I'll never fully understand. And Todd? I never saw him again. Sometimes I wonder if he's still there, trapped in the whispers and shadows. So, what do you think? Could you live with an ex in a haunted house? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my channel for more spine-chilling stories.
See you next time, if you dare.